bro. I just gotta keep it real. It's getting that fucking bad with these assaults on Caitlin Clark. Chelsea Gray got Caitlin Clark in the midsection for whoever thinks she was.
The landscape of professional basketball is currently experiencing a massive, unprecedented shift. And right now, the entire sports world is completely glued to their screens in absolute disbelief. The WNBA has always proudly championed an identity rooted in sheer grit, intense physical defense, and unyielding on-court competition. But what just transpired on the hardwood has crossed a completely different line, sparking an absolute wildfire of controversy that has left fans, media networks, and independent content creators completely stunned. We are talking about a moment that made the collective heartbeat of the basketball community stop in an instant. A sequence so jarring and intense that it has completely overshadowed the actual box score. Caitlin Clark has shocked the basketball world yet again, not just with her transcendent playmaking, but with her unbelievable resilience following what many are calling a terrifyingly intense on-court escalation. Welcome back to WNBA Log, your premier destination for the most hard-hitting, unfiltered, and deeply analytical coverage of professional women's basketball. Do yourself a massive favor, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and ring that notification bell immediately, because what we are breaking down today is the single most debated, highly scrutinized, and shocking sequence of the entire season.
I synced this post. Now, we all seen when Caitlin Clark went down after the foul that was called on her. Then the WNBA referees took it under review. They did a little review thing. Now, we thought that Caitlin Clark was just mad about the foul. She was just on the ground like this because of the foul. I'm here to tell you that is not the case. This whole situation is bigger than Caitlin Clark actually receiving that foul. Caitlin Clark was hit in the midsection.
When a rookie of Caitlin Clark's astronomical magnitude steps onto a professional basketball court, she is fully aware that she enters the arena with an absolute target on her back. Veteran players are naturally going to test her resolve, challenge her spacing, and bring an immense level of physical pressure to see if she can handle the elite environment of the WNBA. But during a high-stakes possession against the Las Vegas Aces, a routine defensive sequence suddenly dissolved into a terrifyingly intense collision that has completely polarized the entire sports landscape. Clark went down hard, following a heavy exchange with Las Vegas veteran guard Chelsea Gray, instantly clutching her midsection and remaining on the hardwood for an extended period. For the casual viewers watching at home, from the standard elevated television broadcast angle, it initially appeared to be nothing more than a routine, frustrating basketball foul. The initial assumption from the general public was that she was simply collecting her thoughts or expressing frustration over a tough whistle. But as the footage began to be analyzed from completely different vantage points, the true nature of the impact sent an immediate shockwave of concern through the fanbase.
Bro, this right here should be the icing on the cake. I am 100% convinced. This play right here and this assault that went down on Caitlin Clark, the Trump administration, the DOJ, everybody need to roll the ball for getting some type of recommendation for this young lady. Because if this carries on, Caitlin Clark ain't gonna have no damn WNBA career. I'm gonna just keep it 100. They gonna been in damn.
The true drama began to unfold when alternate courtside footage shot by independent reporters began circulating across social media platforms, completely shattering the initial narrative surrounding the play. When you slow the tape down and look at the alignment of the bodies, the sheer force of the impact becomes incredibly difficult to watch. Analysts and content creators across the country are currently pausing the tape frame by frame, and it has triggered a massive wave of speculative, fan-attributed questions regarding the overall safety of the league's most heavily guarded assets. The courtside angle reveals a highly concentrated, incredibly forceful collision. Fans are pointing out that this was not a standard basketball move, where an offensive player simply lowers their shoulder or extends an arm to create space out of a triple threat position. Instead, the online community is deeply analyzing what appears to be a direct, localized impact targeted directly at Clark's midsection, followed instantly by a simultaneous knee-to-knee lower body collision. The immediate reaction from the fan base has been an overwhelming wave of intense community concern regarding Caitlin Clark's long-term athletic physical status. When an elite athlete takes a direct, unyielding hit to the core while simultaneously enduring lower body skeletal impact, the immediate worry is the potential for significant physical setbacks that could derail a historic season. The footage clearly shows Clark attempting to act as a human shield, absorbing an immense amount of incoming kinetic force while trying to maintain her defensive positioning. But the laws of physics are completely absolute, and the impact sent her crashing to the floor, leaving her breathless and visibly shaken. This specific moment has sparked intense fan speculation across the internet, with thousands of vocal supporters openly questioning the underlying intent behind the play, wondering aloud if this was a deliberate, hyper-aggressive message sent by a veteran champion or simply an incredibly clumsy, highly unfortunate collision in a fast-paced game.
Got her head and shoulder planted right in Caitlin Clark midsection. How do you explain this? It's one thing to extend your shoulder to create space, but to physically headbutt a player in their midsection, bro. In their midsection, mid-play, diabolical in so many ways. Now, look at this clip here, guys.
What has amplified the shock and anger surrounding this entire situation is the baffling manner in which the officiating crew handled the immediate aftermath. Following the heavy physical exchange, the referees gathered at the replay monitor to conduct a formal review. However, rather than evaluating the initial, forceful impact to the midsection for a potential flagrant penalty upgrade, the broadcast confirmed that the review was strictly focused on an act after the foul. This revelation has left the Indiana Fever fanbase in a state of absolute uproar. Viewers are taking to social media in droves, expressing massive frustration and asking how an impact of that severity can be completely ignored by the officiating staff. The community debate is growing increasingly loud, with independent sports analysts arguing that the league's refereeing standards are demonstrating a profound disconnect when it comes to actively monitoring and preventing dangerous, off-ball, or secondary physical escalations targeted at star players. There is a rising sentiment among the public that if the league does not take a more proactive stance in evaluating these heavy, high-velocity impacts, it could lead to an environment where player safety is profoundly compromised.
Boom. And Caitlin Clark tried to fight through it. Because she tried to stand up there and fight through that, but she immediately probably got the wind knocked out of her, bro. Look at this. Boom. Bow. Diabolical, bro. Insanity from the WNBA to allow this to keep happening. Oh, and knee-to-knee bone. Oh, my.
But what has truly shocked the basketball world in the wake of this terrifying cheap shot controversy is the unbelievable, unyielding response from the Indiana Fever organization itself. A moment of this magnitude, packed with this much controversy and physical danger, could easily cause a young locker room to completely unravel. It would be incredibly easy for the players to lose their focus, lash out at the media, or allow the negative energy of an intense game to derail their collective execution. Instead, what happened next inside the post-game press conference room was a stunning display of professional maturity, tactical focus, and locker room unity that has completely redefined the identity of this franchise. The Fever did not walk into the media room looking to complain about the physical toll of the game or point fingers at the opposition. They chose to face the media with their heads held incredibly high, delivering an absolute masterclass in professional poise. Center Aaliyah Boston stepped directly up to the microphone and immediately dictated the entire tone of the post-game narrative, showcasing the heart and leadership that anchors this roster. When asked about how the team managed to navigate the extreme physicality of the environment, Boston immediately pivoted away from the controversy and focused squarely on the basketball philosophy that is driving their success. She stated beautifully that the team's ultimate focus is to let their defense spark their offense. This is a profound strategic insight for a young, hyper-athletic squad. When a team is facing an opponent that is attempting to impose a brutal, highly physical brand of basketball, the worst thing you can do is slow down and play into their hands. By dialing up their own defensive intensity, forcing tough shots, and securing the defensive glass, the Fever were able to get out and run in transition, completely neutralizing the physical half-court pressure before it could even set up. Boston further elaborated on the offensive execution, noting that the ball was constantly moving and that they kept it popping throughout the entire contest. She explained that a major point of emphasis for the coaching staff has been executing clean ball reversals, trusting that if they move the defense from side to side, the basketball will organically find the player who is in the absolute best position to score. When the media asked how quickly the players can sense that their offensive rhythm is fully locked in, Boston noted that you can usually feel that energy right away. But the true mark of their growth is their ability to sustain that exact same connectivity across all 4 quarters of play. This is the exact mindset of a championship contender. They are refusing to allow outside controversies, heavy hits, or questionable officiating to dictate their emotional state on the floor.
Now, something I've been noticing is that they've been keeping these press conferences kind of short. They ain't been talking long at all. This one only like 2 minutes.
Let our defense spark our offense, and then offensively, we moved the ball, we kept it popping. I think that's really just been a focus for us. It's just getting the ball reversed, and then it's going to find who should shoot it, and I think we did a better job today.
On those nights that your offense does those, that's how quickly can you tell that you guys are playing the way you want when it's coming?
Yeah, I think you can tell right away. I think for us, it's about making sure that we stay consistent through 4 quarters.
Sophie, that you were on fire.
That exact theme of supreme professionalism and emotional resilience was echoed perfectly by Sophie Cunningham, who put on an absolute shooting clinic during the game. Cunningham was asked about how she manages to find and sustain her rhythm in such a highly charged, physical atmosphere, and her response provided an incredible window into the elite mindset of this roster. She stated plainly that staying ready is simply what it means to be a true professional in this league. She openly acknowledged that when you have megastars on your roster, you fully understand that they are going to command the absolute lion's share of the defensive attention and the shot attempts, and she emphasized that they absolutely should. That complete lack of ego is exactly why this team is becoming an absolute juggernaut. Cunningham understands that the sheer offensive gravity of a player like Caitlin Clark creates massive oceans of space on the perimeter, meaning the supporting cast simply has to remain completely locked in, disciplined, and ready to knock down shots when the ball finds them. The perspective from the coaching staff further highlighted the immense pride the organization feels regarding their collective toughness. Head coach Stephanie White addressed the media and praised her squad for their incredible mental and physical fortitude throughout a highly demanding road trip. The third quarter of this matchup was an absolute crucible as the Las Vegas Aces engineered a massive, high-powered run to test the young Fever roster. In previous eras, a championship-level run in a hostile building would have completely broken this team's spirit, especially following a terrifying physical scare to their star point guard. But Coach White highlighted how this group remained incredibly connected, withstood the storm, and responded by completely locking down on the defensive end of the floor. The tactical adjustments made in the locker room were nothing short of brilliant. Coach White pointed out that the Aces entered the halftime break shooting a highly efficient, incredibly comfortable 52% from the field. But the Fever refused to back down, dialing up their perimeter pressure and executing pristine rotations. By the time the final buzzer sounded, the Aces' field goal percentage had plummeted all the way down to a mere 39%. Coach White noted that this is exactly how you build long-term, sustainable consistency in the WNBA. The team recognizes that outside shots will not always fall, but a commitment to defensive identity and finding the best available look on the floor will translate into winning basketball every single night. But the historical implications of this game extend even further, because amidst the chaos and the physical intensity, Kelsey Mitchell put together a historic performance that has permanently etched her name into the absolute stratosphere of the sport. Mitchell suited up for her 300th career professional game, and she celebrated that incredible milestone by completely shattering a franchise record held by one of the greatest legends to ever play the game.
Game in a few
Goat talk.
reform, so
Yeah.
only her
Where
and
Caitlin
Tamika
Flowers
have done that.
at?
And then
Man,
this was
you-
the 38th game in a row that she scored at least 10 points, passing a record from Tamika. So I guess especially just like the longevity, the continuity, what else can you say about her?
I mean, Kelsey's awesome. She shows up every single day and she gives us everything she has. And I think, just how long she's been wearing a Fever jersey, I mean, you can see it. She continues to show up every single day. She hoops out of her mind. She is the fastest guard I've ever seen in my life. And so for her to continue to do that and make teams guard her, I mean,
Mitchell officially recorded her 38th consecutive game scoring in double digits, officially passing the legendary Hall of Famer Tamika Catchings for the longest scoring streak in the history of the Indiana Fever organization. To eclipse a record held by an icon like Catchings is a feat that requires an unbelievable level of daily dedication, elite skill, and unmatched offensive willpower. During the press availability, Aaliyah Boston spoke glowingly about Mitchell's longevity, emphasizing that Kelsey shows up every single day and pours every single ounce of her soul into this franchise. Boston marveled at her teammates' physical gifts, calling her the fastest guard she has ever witnessed in her entire life. For Mitchell to maintain this level of hyper-efficient scoring continuity, forcing world-class defenses to completely alter their schemes just to keep up with her baseline speed is a historic achievement that deserves the absolute highest praise from the global basketball community. The press conference wrapped up with Coach White confirming that Myisha Hines-Allen was away from the team managing a private family matter, with the entire organization extending their full support and love to her during her absence, reinforcing the deep, familial bonds that unite this roster behind the scenes. As the Indiana Fever prepare to transition to their upcoming matchup against the fast-paced, highly aggressive Valkyries, the ultimate takeaway from this weekend is one of complete empowerment. The rest of the league tried to impose their physical will. They tried to test the resolve of the game's brightest young star with high-velocity contact, and they tried to break the spirit of this young roster. But the Indiana Fever responded by showing the entire world that they possess an unshakable locker room culture, elite tactical discipline, and a historic supporting cast that can completely carry the load when adversity strikes. The fierce debates surrounding player protection, the intense scrutiny of the courtside replay footage, and the speculative questions regarding the officiating will absolutely continue to dominate the national sports conversation for weeks to come. Fans will remain deeply invested in monitoring the physical status of their franchise cornerstone, demanding that the league take definitive action to ensure the safety of its athletes. But through all the outside noise and the social media firestorms, the Indiana Fever have proven that they are fully capable of blocking out the distractions and focusing entirely on winning basketball games. They are playing with an undeniable edge, an elite level of connectivity, and a dangerous collective swagger that has the entire league on absolute notice. Thank you so much for tuning in to WNBA Pro. Make sure you get down in the comment section right now and let me know your absolute thoughts on that shocking courtside angle. Do you think the fan speculation regarding the intent of the collision is valid, or do you view it as a standard physical play? How hyped are you to see Kelsey Mitchell pass Tamika Catchings in the history books? Drop your predictions for the Valkyries game, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next breakdown.